our leaders making their way towards Addis Ababa for the 50th birthday celebrations of the African Union. But the broader question is, what does the African Union mean to you and I as Africans today? What do the next 50 years of the AU look like in your view? What sort of areas should be handled? The involvement of the Africans across the spectrum, to what extent are they involved in the programs of the African Union? But broadly, also, to what extent has it assisted in developing the peoples of our continent? That's what we are discussing here this morning here on AM Live on SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader. Let me welcome our guests on the program. I'm going to start with Dr. Pallo Jordan, a member of the ANC's Subcommittee on International Relations. Dr. Jordan, good morning. Nice having you on the program.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, listeners.
Thanks indeed. Also, in our Pretoria studios, I'm joined there by Dr. Spamandla Zondi. He's a director of the Institute for Global Dialogue. A very good morning to you, Dr. Zondi.
Good morning, Perpetua, and good morning to Dr. Jordan.
Thanks indeed. I've also got Mr. Adetunji Omotola, a political analyst from Nigeria. Mr. Omotola, good morning. Nice talking to you.
Good morning, Olani. Good morning, listeners. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Perhaps I'm going to start with Dr. Zondi. Dr. Zondi, in order for us to understand where we are today, we've also got to understand the objectives of the OAU, the then OAU, in the first place, so that we are able to assess whether progress has been made. What were the objectives? And at this point, then, can we say some progress has been made?
What is important, I think, to underline in regards to your question is to place the birth of the AU, of the African Union, or Organization of African Unity, in its context. What it was a culmination of a long struggle against colonialism and a struggle for self-realization by Africans, a struggle for liberation of Africans so that they could contribute freely in the shaping of world affairs and in their own affairs. And that struggle for freedom and unity would find meaning in the concepts around African renewal that begin right at the end of the 19th century and gain currency in the beginning of the 20th century, interrelating with the concept of Pan-Africanism, as espoused by the many of the Africans that were in the diaspora by virtue of slavery, envisioning a continent that was other than the dark continent that had become known. And in 1963, then, when a number of countries had become independent, they get confronted by a question as to how do you do this practically now that a number of countries have taken off the yoke of colonial rule. And that is when then the discussions divide between whether you need to establish a common government for the whole of Africa, or you build it incrementally, and they settle for the Organization of African Unity as a transitional point. So the point is that then therefore the OAU was born to be a mechanism through which the visions and the goals and ideals of Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance were to be delivered. And those, for me, relate to three things. One is the unity of the African state, to create a statehood that is a bit viable and workable for the purpose of this nature. For, as you know, what had become Africa then had been decided pretty arbitrarily at a conference of Europeans in Berlin in 1884-85, and that had created states that many of them were not viable, had drawn them off a map, and therefore created states that are never going to be viable, and therefore we needed a united, a new form of statehood to do this. And the second one was this idea of collective self-reliance, which had its origin in the Bandung Conference of Asia-African Solidarity in 1955. But the idea was that the Africans have to rely on themselves for their own development, for they would not rely on the colonial rulers whose logic was to subjugate them. And the second part element of that was that they have to rely on each other and others like them who've come out of the same system. Yeah. And the last one is this idea of integration, that they would have to develop programs that build up this idea from the bottom, from matters of economy and trade and investment to questions of culture and science and technology, and reclaiming Africa's place as a cradle of humanity and civilization. And all part of the agenda that the OAU was going to begin with, but the first big part to get to that was going to ensure that other countries also come off the yoke of colonialism, and that took a long time and would only come to end in 1994, which is why we then had a point when we needed a transition then from the OAU to a new organization to give expression to all of these broad elements of this broad agenda.